Hi guys. Hello everyone. I'm just checking, can you hear us now? Hi Elaine and Dave, can you hear us? Yes, great, okay. Well, welcome to this evening's webinar. My name is Lisa and this is Anessa, my colleague, and we're doing the last webinar of 2017. So we've specially worn our Christmas jumpers today to celebrate Christmas. So just to introduce ourselves, I suppose I'm part of the marketing team here in CaminoWays. I'm from Ireland, and Anessa here is one of our travel specialists. So she knows more about all the routes. So I'm going to be asking Anessa all your important questions today. If you have any questions, you can feel free to type them into to the search box, and we'll get to them maybe during the webinar, but also at the very end, we'll do 10-minute question and answer session where we can answer all those tricky questions. So without further ado, let's start the webinar. So Anessa, if you want to just give a little overview about what we do and where you're coming from, who are CaminoWays?
Of course. So hi everyone. Well, we are the tour operator based in Dublin. We do sell walking and cycling holidays all around Spain, Portugal, Italy, mainly focusing on the Camino. You can choose which route you want to do, and we basically provide you with all the services. We book all of your accommodation and all the services for you, which would so that's our team here. As you can see, we have quite a big team. So that would be our reservations team, sales team, everyone in our team there. What we do is we have three brands. We have three main brands, which is CaminoWays, which is our most popular brand. And we have also Ireland Ways brand, which is for walking and cycling holidays in Ireland. And we also have a trekking book, which is for all the other treks around the world. We will go into detail on all of them a bit later. But first of all, I'll focus on the Camino a bit more.
I think we're having a little trouble with the sound, guys. Can other people hear us? Elaine, are you the only one that can't hear us? Dave, can you hear us? I can hear you. Okay. Hi, Chris. Hi, Renee. Okay, that's great. So like Anessa was saying, we are a multicultural team. So on all of the routes that we operate on, we also have teams that speak the languages on those routes. So we find that's really important. So in our office, we have Spanish, Portuguese, Italian, French, Mexican,
anything that you can think of.
Netherlands. So very multicultural team, and we're proud to have everyone here that can operate on the ground with the suppliers that we have. And I think you're having a little problem with the audio, Elaine, and I'm sorry about that. We'll see, can we get you the recording after the webinar? I'll get you the full recording. For now, we'll just take you through what we do and how we can help you on your journeys in 2018. So for what we do in the office on a daily basis, do you want to explain that?
So as mentioned before, we offer cycling and walking holidays. They could be guided or self-guided as well. We do bookings for individual travelers or groups as well. And what we also offer for all of our Irish clients or for anyone who's based in Ireland, and we do preparation walks here in Ireland. So they're just there to basically for us to meet our clients face to face and to prepare for the Camino or any of the walks that you will be doing with us.
Yeah, so the types of tours we offer vary, and we also offer 24/7 support. That's really important for the client, isn't it, to reassure them when they're on the trail?
Definitely. Yeah, that is a big thing for a lot of our clients. That's one of the main reasons as well why people do book with us, is to have that support, to know that, especially if you're going on the Camino for the first time, if you're not too sure of the routes, if you don't speak the language that well, it is nice to know that you have someone there at any time who can help you with any any issues at all. So we do provide that number to our clients, so they can call us any time of the day, whether it's an issue at accommodation, whether it's any of the services that are not like the transfer is late or anything like that, where they're always available.
And there's two types of tours. So the self-guided tours, these are the ones that we'd be used to doing ourselves. So myself and Anessa have went on a few tours together. We cycled the Portuguese coastal way this year, which we'll tell you about a little later. And then the guided tours, you're brought by a local guide from the region.
Yeah,
right?
So we do have clients who look for both guided and self-guided. They're both equally popular. I suppose the main advantage of a self-guided tour is that it's a bit more flexible than the guided tour. The dates are flexible, so if you go self-guided, our dates are completely flexible, so we have no restrictions whatsoever. You can also use upgrades in accommodations. The trip can be tailored to your needs as much as you need. With the guided tours, there's also other advantages. It's that you are traveling with a group. So if you are a solo traveler, sometimes people feel that a bit safer, or if they travel with other people. Also, you have the guide there. The guide, so the guide will always look after you. He will help you to answer any questions that you might have. We also include the airport transfers as well for that. So it's a full package that you have. So you don't need to worry about anything. We do look after everything for you.
Okay, so now for the important part, we'll get on to the trails. So obviously we're specialists in the Camino de Santiago. We've been specialists for over 10 years now. So we're very familiar with these trails. And then we'll go on to our newer trails, which are based in Ireland. We have a few trails here, and I'm from Ireland, so I love promoting those ones. And then we have our trekking bug trails, which are kind of more challenging. They're for the adventurous spirit in you. And Anessa is a bit of an adventurer.
So that would be me.
Yeah, that would be Anessa. So she'll take you through a few of them. So how about we just give a bit of background about the Camino?
Yeah. So the Camino is an ancient pilgrimage trail that leads to Santiago. And there's a lot of routes for it, as you can see there. There are a few that would be more popular than others, but really you can start anywhere. You can start in Portugal, France. You can start in Spain, north of Spain, and we also have some Camino routes that finish in Rome as well. So they would be completely different to this. As I said, some Camino routes are popular than others. So you can see the most popular, for example, is the French way, which is the yellow line on the map. This routes can be as long. They could take as long as a month to complete. Some might be a week. Some might be 2 weeks. You can really choose how long you want to do your trip for.
So the French way, this is the most popular route. It's the one that most people would start out with. Let's say if you haven't done the Camino before, the French way is the one that you would have seen in The Way, the movie with Martin Sheen. So a lot of you might be familiar with that. I know it was my first time seeing anything about the Camino before. And if you haven't seen it, before, maybe have a watch over Christmas. It's a nice Christmas feel-good movie.
Definitely, yeah. I would definitely recommend to. And then after you watch it, you can give us a call and tell us what you think of it. Basically, the French way is the most popular Camino. This is where we get most clients calling us and asking about the Camino. Normally, it's about this one. If they tell us that their friends have done the Camino or they heard about the Camino, it's generally this particular route. So this route actually starts in France. That's probably where it gets its name from, the French Camino, and it starts right at the border of France and Spain. So it starts in a town called Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, and the first walking day, you're actually going over the Pyrenees. So that might be the most difficult part of the entire trip, but it's definitely, the views are definitely worth the climb. This route would take you a bit over a month to complete. So if you do the entire route, it can be quite challenging. But you don't have to do the full route. A lot of people will only have a week or two available. So the last part of the Camino would be really the most popular part. So that would be Sarria to Santiago, which is the last 100 kilometers. This is something that people who are doing their walk for the first time would be interested in, simply because you do get your certificate after completing the 100 kilometers. So we provide you with the passports, which you get stamped along the way, and then at the end you present it in the pilgrim office in Santiago, and you get your Compostela certificate. Just about this route, anything else that we can mention?
Well, I think the last section's in here as well.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
If we maybe focus on the last section a little bit, I mean, it is special arriving into Santiago de Compostela. I did my first Camino walk 2 years ago, and I did the last section of the Portuguese coastal way, and just walking in to Santiago, into the square in front of the cathedral where everyone is just gathered, and just there's a communal outpouring of tiredness and delight that you finished the journey. But also Santiago de Compostela is really, it's a real unique find in Europe as a city, you know. So I think that's the special part of a real underestimated part of the last 100 kilometers.
Definitely, yeah. See, a lot of our clients as well who want to do the Camino, they might not come back and do the Camino again. So that would be the main reason as well for them to choose to do the last part. It's just that there's just something special about finishing in Santiago. You feel like you have completed the Camino, even though you haven't done the full walk. Once you finish in Santiago, it does feel like you have done it. What else did I want to say there about it? As it is the most popular walk, you will meet a lot of pilgrims along the way. It's very well marked as well. Even for solo travelers, you'll never feel like you're alone, actually, because you'll meet so many people along the route. It has such a real feeling of the Camino, so it's definitely recommended if you haven't done the Camino before.
Yeah, this is a starter one. So if you start in this one, well, if you're like me and you like the outdoors anyway, you'll just get addicted. You just want to do the next one and another one. So the Portuguese coastal, this is the one me and Anessa did together. Well, we did some of it together. I did a part of it on my own. But I think it's a really handy one because this one is only 13 nights to complete. So if you wanted to do a whole Camino route, and you only, like, the French way takes over a month to complete, around 35 nights. So it's quite long.
It's a lot easier to commit to.
It's a lot easier to commit to. And also for a lot of it, you're on the coast for the start, definitely for the first week that we did together. Most of it's along the coast. Completely, so it's amazing scenery.
Also, if you want to complete 2 countries in 2 weeks, that would be a good one as well, because mostly in 2 weeks, you would only be in the same country, so you would only cover parts of Spain. But in this one, you can cover both Portugal and Spain, and experience both inland and coastal as well. Yeah, so that is very nice. Different as well. It's especially nice in warm weather as well, so you can go in for a swim. It has a lot of boardwalks, which are really nice along the coast as well. Very beautiful views. Definitely recommended. It's very flat as well, so very easy to walk. For anyone who's concerned about long distance walking, this one is that bit easier. So it's very recommended for those who are not as experienced in hiking.
And will you meet pilgrims along the way on this one as well? We met a few. We went in October, so it's late in the year to go, although it's still beautiful and the weather was amazing. And we still met a lot of pilgrims.
We did. So I would imagine in summer it would be very, very busy as well. Yeah.
So you won't feel alone.
No, never.
The next one is the Northern Way. So I haven't done this one in particular, but some of our colleagues have done it, and this kind of one is known for the food. Am I right?
For the food, yes, definitely, and for the views, definitely as well. Yeah, because it is mountainous and it's coastal as well. So combine the two together, I see you have amazing views and on it. And the food as well. you're starting in San Sebastian if you're starting at the beginning, which is very well known for amazing restaurants, brilliant food. So Bilbao as well. So the main highlights of this route would be that you are going through very well known cities, towns as well. It is, though, as I said, a bit more challenging. It does have quite a bit of elevation up to it as well. So you do need to be prepared. You wouldn't do this walk if you haven't done any hiking or if you haven't done any other Camino before. Just because when you combine the distance together with the elevation, it can be very difficult. And if you're not expecting that, you might not enjoy it as much.
Well, that's good to know. Maybe I need another few practice runs before
I'd say
I
you'd be
do
okay
them.
by now if I came along with you.
Yeah. And the Camino to Rome then is our Via Francigena trail. So I would have done the Tuscany section of this from Lucca to Siena, and really easy to get to, I found, because we flew into Pisa. And I flew from Dublin to Pisa with Ryanair, and it was just so easy. And then on to Lucca, which is a walled city and beautiful. So is there any overall tips? It's a very long trail, so you'd only do a section of this at a time.
It really depends which section you choose, because there's so many. You're going through different countries. So in general, if you're doing a walk in Italy, I would say to avoid the summer months, because it can get way too hot. It's nice when you're on the beach, but not when you're walking in the sun. Can be a bit too overwhelming. If you're doing parts, let's say like in Switzerland, where you're going over the Alps, the summer months are the best months to do it, simply due to the weather, because you might have snow in other months and you might not be able to go over this in Bernard Pass. It's difficult to say. It really depends which part you were looking to do, but mostly people would be picking sections of this Camino, as it takes over 3 months to complete the entire route, as it starts in England and finishes in Rome. So it's a long way to go. Definitely challenging. But if you do only parts of it, it's very enjoyable. It's not as challenging. If you do, let's say, Lucca to Siena, it's not as challenging. It's a bit hilly, but it's not. No. It's nothing crazy. Anyone can do it. You don't have to be too experienced, or it's suitable for all fitness levels, really. Also, Viterbo to Rome is another popular section. That's just, it's a week long as well. And the main highlight is that you do finish in Rome. So the same as at Santiago, it does have something special about it to finish in Rome.
And I think sorry, just cutting in a little bit, because I did this section a few years ago, and it was in Tuscany. So when we arrive in Lucca and you're walking to Siena, but the little hilltop towns along the way, I mean, the walled features in those towns and the little churches, the food and the wine, absolutely amazing. And October, we did it October again. I seem to always go walking in October. But October is a lovely time in Spain or in Italy, but especially in Italy, because it's harvest season. So it's all these natural fruits, and truffle hunting is going on. We have a friend out there, Massimo, who does truffle hunting tours, and it's just really, really authentic. Feel like you're getting to really experience the Tuscan countryside. So Lucca to Siena would be my section that I would probably recommend, but I haven't.
Definitely. We do have a lot of positive reviews on that particular section, so it's very, very much recommended if you're doing it. If you're looking to do the Camino to Rome for the first time, I would say this would be the best section to do. Yeah, definitely.
And then we have our Irish trails. So obviously, as I said, I'm Irish, so I'm a bit, particularly fond of the trails in Ireland. And people usually have a lot of questions about these trails, because the weather in Ireland isn't known for the outdoors and stuff. But you're not necessarily just coming for the walking experience. You're coming to stop along the way. Isn't that right? People kind of enjoy stopping in the towns and villages. It's part of the experience,
the culture and everything.
So there's some popular ones here. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about the Wicklow Way.
So the Wicklow Way is one of the more popular ones, mainly because of the accessibility. It's very easily accessible from Dublin. So it is, as you know, the Wicklow Mountains. It's not as challenging though.
No.
It's not the Alps or the Pyrenees. So you are obviously going up and down a bit, but it is pretty doable for anyone with any type of fitness level. What else can I mention about this one? The scenery is amazing. I personally go to Wicklow all the time. I've done many parts of the Wicklow Way myself, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who hasn't been to Ireland or this part of Ireland. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add yourself. Glendalough, oh, amazing. Yeah.
It's like the old monasteries. So there's a lot of history, I suppose. When you're in Ireland, you can't really go a few steps without bumping into some history.
Yeah.
And finishing off in Dublin is nice as well. The Wicklow will finish you off right here in the capital. Yeah. So
it's very easy.
It's an easy one to enjoy. So that's one for the bucket list. And the Kerry Way, which I've done several times. I do the Kerry Camino every May, which we partner up with the guys down there on. And if you want to come on the Kerry Camino next May, that's an option for anyone who's here, guys. You're welcome to come along to that one. I can send the details later. But if you want to explain a little bit about the Kerry Way.
So the Kerry, the County Kerry is amazing, and all the nature and landscape in Kerry is beautiful. This is of course, this is a coastal walk, so it's a bit different. It is also beautiful. It's in a different way as you are on the coast. It's a bit more exposed as well. Might be a bit more windy, so you need to be prepared in that kind of way in regards to the weather. But it's also very beautiful route. There's different types of terrain as well, so it can be very mucky and muddy, especially in Ireland with the weather. It's very changeable and unpredictable, so you have to be prepared for all type of weather. Normally it can get very wet. You're not doing much of road walk as far as I know, for the Kerry Camino, for example. It will be very muddy if you're not going in summertime, even though in summertime we get a lot of rain as well. I think that would be mainly it about the Kerry Way.
So these are our treks. So we have this is the third brand. So we launched Trekking Bug 3 or 4 years ago. It's going pretty well. It's for more challenging routes, as I said. Inessa is more of an adventurous spirit than me, I would say. I look for like the easy trails. And then obviously our director and a few of the guys here in the office love getting out on adventures. So it was just us finding where we wanted to go next, where we would like to trek, and the type of routes that we think our readers and clients would enjoy to do with us. So if you want to give, I suppose there's a few top tours here as well. Yeah. Trekking in Spain, La Gomera.
Yeah, we have quite a few walks all over the world. We have the Kilimanjaro, we have the Tour du Mont Blanc, we have trekkings in Spain, Portugal. I can't think of anything now off the top of my head. Machu Picchu. Yeah, there's a lot of routes. You can find them all on our website as well. I'm just going to cover just a couple of them today because there's too much detail in them. So if we can talk about the trekking in Spain, we do offer a hike in La Gomera, which is in the Canary Islands. It's the second smallest island in the Canaries. So for us, the Irish, the Canary Islands would be very well known as a holiday destination. It's actually it's a very nice island for walking as well. It's good for hiking. So for anyone who loves to hike, I'd say this should be a great option as well. It's very popular as well because you can do it in winter time. So it can be done all year round. The weather is amazing. Probably I'd say even the winter time would be better to do it than the summertime because it gets way too hot for walking in summertime. So the island, it's a volcanic island. So you have a volcano in the middle of the island, and you're basically the route takes you all around the island. So you're walking along the coast, and you have this huge volcano in the middle. So it has very nice views. It has very nice landscape. It has banana plantations there as well. It has beautiful, gorgeous. it's just amazing. It's I'd say, well, for any of you who have been to the Canary Islands, you'd know what to expect more or less. But each island in the Canary Islands it has something. It's always different. They're not all the same. So yeah, I definitely would recommend, even if you have been to any of the other Canary Islands, I would definitely recommend going to this one. And especially if you love hiking, it's a great challenge.
Like we do.
Yeah.
And Tour du Mont Blanc, a few of our colleagues did this one last year. Not for the faint-hearted, but absolutely amazing. And you will get like spectacular views, views that you've never seen. I mean, the Pyrenees is nearby. And yeah, it's just everything. Chamonix, I think you walk near Chamonix. So that's what I've heard, that this one is amazing. So maybe you can just give us a little overview about what.
Yeah, of course. This is for the ones who do seek a challenge.
Yeah.
For the more experienced hikers, it's definitely worth doing it. It is only accessible though in summer months, just due to the snow. Because there is snow mostly all year round, except from we do recommend going from mid-June to mid-September. Anytime after or before that, you probably will find snow up on the mountains. It is very challenging. Has great views though, so it's definitely worth it. One thing that would be different to this trek is that we might be offering hostels in some of the towns, in some of the places, some of the stops that you stop. Because for all of the Caminos or treks that we do, we always book private accommodation. So you would have your own private bedroom with an ensuite bathroom. On this route, it might not be the case, simply because there isn't that many accommodations.
Remote.
Yeah, it's very much remote. It's not as developed. You're up in the Alps, so you might have to share a room in some places, but you're always informed of that before booking, so it won't be a surprise anyway.
And we do the luggage transfers as well for all of these routes.
We do, yeah.
For even trekking bug and for Camino de Rome, for Ireland Ways, and all of the Camino routes, the luggage transfer is included, and it's one of our most important services that we provide as well.
It is definitely
the 24-hour assistance.
It does make the walk a lot more enjoyable as well, as you don't have to carry your heavy bag. You don't need to worry about anything. You leave your hotel, you leave the bag at the reception, we collect it, you get to your next hotel, the bag is already waiting for you there. So it's very easy. It's luxurious walk, I would say. Well,
I wouldn't say luxurious now. You still have to carry
luxurious
something.
Pilgrimage.
Yeah, luxurious pilgrimage. When we did it together earlier this year, the Portuguese Coastal Way, so each day you'd bring water, some snacks, a few snacks along the way.
If you're like me, you'll be carrying a huge camera as well.
Huge camera, always with Anessa. But yeah, I think that's about it. You might have a spare change of socks or something, just to change that and let your feet breathe a little. But other than that, your big bag with all your luggage and your evening wear and stuff is transferred to the next village, so you don't need to worry about it. So the best time to go, I suppose, it's going to differ depending on the route, right?
Of course.
So
always
that's it.
Sometimes it's the summer months, sometimes it's the spring. The Camino is most popular during actually before summer, right before summer. So it will be May, and then after summer, so September, just when it's not that hot anymore, but it's still nice and warm. They are the most popular months, so they can get very crowded, especially in the most popular routes like the French way or the Portuguese way. But like I mentioned before, like La Gomera, the trek in La Gomera is probably better to be done in winter time. The walks over the Alps are better to be done in summertime, so it's not going to be as hot there. Italy should be really avoided in summer months, I'd say. So it really depends on which route you'd like to take.
Yeah, and then I suppose we can advise best, or some of our guys and and a few of the team can advise best based on your availability. So if you said April is my best time to go, then we can say, okay, there's these 3 routes that will suit April best, and then you can choose from there. And
that would be one of the advantage of booking with us as well. We
having someone to call.
You don't have to. We don't. Like, you don't have to know everything about the Camino or about all the routes. There's so many of them. You obviously might be overwhelmed when you first see that there's so many of them. You don't know which one to choose. Where do I start? How do I start
the journey?
Journey. Where do I arrive? And all of that. So we provide you with all of that information. We're always here to help. You can always give us a call. You can send us an email. We help you with everything, and basically, so that what makes us popular as well.
I suppose what to pack. This is an important one, and definitely. There was a lot of things that I didn't pack on my first walking holiday. So the first one I did was the Tuscany one, the Via Francigena from Lucca to Siena. And although I was advised, you're advised best, and people who have done it before, they say, no, bring this, bring that. And maybe there was some days when I forgot to bring snacks along the way. You could be walking or cycling for 3-4 hours at a time. You might need a few nuts.
And you might not find services everywhere along the way, depending on what route you're doing. There might not be any services, any shops or cafes for 5 hours. 5 or 10 kilometers. So you might... it does make a difference if you have something, just a light snack there, because it will make you angry if you don't have anything to eat for 5 hours.
And your energy is going. Exactly, and then the other thing that I got before I went, which I was delighted about, that saved my journey, was I got 2 packets of merino wool socks. Now they're quite expensive in terms of socks that you buy. I know you'll probably find them anywhere, no matter where you are. Any specialist sportswear store will have merino wool socks, but these are just essential for walking holidays. They help prevent blisters. Now you still might get blisters, but these help prevent it. So if you have a few good pairs of these, they're breathable, and I'd say that was my lifesaver anyway.
I definitely agree with that. It's very important. That's one of the main things that we recommend for our clients, is to have good socks and good footwear as well, something that you're really comfortable in. Don't buy new shoes without trying them on and wearing them for a bit before you go, because you will probably get blisters if you wear something that's not comfortable and you're not used to. Other than that, I would definitely say bring a camera if you're walking. Not necessarily if you're cycling, because you might not have the time to take the pictures. You'll have to stop all the time. But definitely if you're walking, you'll have all the time in the world to take all the pictures that you like, and you will see so many things that you will want to take pictures of, because the scenery is beautiful. Depending on the time of the year you're going and where you're going. If you're doing the Camino and if you're going in the warm months, definitely bring really light clothes. Don't pack too much, but bring some layers as well, because even though if it's warm, it might be a bit windy, or you can get some rain as well. You never know. So just make sure you have some layers with you. If you're doing for any of the walks in Ireland, definitely layers, be prepared for rain. So rain gear is important, waterproof shoes as well, or boots. For the Camino as well, I'd say I wouldn't necessarily recommend wearing hiking boots. I'd say walking shoes would be the best. Hiking boots can be a bit too heavy, and they're not as comfortable to walk in if you're not hiking, if you're actually walking on roads, because there will be some road walking as well. The boots. Sun cream, definitely.
Sun cream, a bit of sun cream every day, doesn't go astray. And there's something else I was going to say there. So cyclists, we do, all of the routes are available in cycling options. If you're cycling, a gel pad for your bike is essential. Your bottom can get quite sore if you're cycling between. Normally on a cycling route, we develop the routes so that you're cycling anywhere between 35 to 55, 60 kilometers
40,
per
50
day.
kilometers, yeah.
So that's a long. Now it seems longer than it is, because on a bike you can really get places really fast, but it's still long enough. So you'll need your gel pads,
especially if you're not used to it. But even if you're used to it, I thought I was used to it as well. But then cycling, getting on the bike every day without any rest, it does add to it. So yeah, do get it if you can. It will help you a lot.
So training and fitness. So I've done a few of these preparation walks. So we do preparation walks every month. We do one a month, and basically I can tell you from my experience, I didn't do much training beforehand. We have a little 6-month fitness guide. I downloaded the ebook and I just said, okay, I'm going to follow a few bits of advice here. And then there's a few exercises that you can do along the way to help you with your calf muscles if they get stiff or anything like that. But the main thing is, I mean, if you're coming up, you know that you're coming up to your Camino journey, you're going to be walking over long distance, over a week or maybe a lot more. Maybe practice every weekend. Try to get out on a trail or a road for between 10 to 15 kilometers. Now, if you do that, that's what I was doing once a week for about 8 weeks. And if you do that, you get your body kind of in tune
as long
with
as you
it
do
then.
some of it, just that you're not
used to
actually
it.
thrown into it.
Yeah.
You know, if you've never done it before, you don't have to do 20 kilometers walking every day for the preparation. Just do some walking to get you started, get you into it.
You'll find your pace as well, and if you buy, a lot of people buy new walking boots or new walking shoes if they're considering a walking holiday, but you should buy them well in advance. So buy them like 6 or 7 months in advance and practice in those shoes so they're well worn in. Like Anessa said a while ago, the worst thing to do is a week before a walking trip, buy a new pair of boots, and then you're nearly guaranteed blisters. So yeah, we'd advise not doing that.
Yeah, no. And as I mentioned before, we also do the preparation walks. So they're done every Sunday at the end, every last Sunday of the month.
Yeah.
And we do them normally around Dublin. So it would be Dublin area, Wicklow Mountains. And you can find details on our website of all of our walks. And we don't have them announced for next year just yet, I think. Not yet, but we will start we will start them again next year, and you can join us on the Sunday walk. So it is nice. It's a nice chance to meet all of us, ask us all the questions, and also get your preparation done for the Camino.
And if you're not, obviously a lot of our clients are outside of Ireland. We know a lot of you are listening in from the US and from Australia and further afield. There are Camino groups, and we liaise with Camino groups on an ongoing basis, a weekly basis. So we'll be able to maybe connect you with people in the region. If you want to let us know, you can just drop us an email, tell us where you are, and we might know other people or other groups or charities that might be doing a Camino as part of a charity trek or as part of a group, and they might be doing prep walks that you can lean on to. But as I said, I was doing my Sunday walks with my family on my own for 8 Sundays before I went on my first trail, and that's fine. Get used to it. So I suppose that's kind of what this slide just here is, just to tell you that we have a lot of resources on the website. Myself and a few of my colleagues, we put together regular updates from people who've been on the different trails. On our blog, you will see all of the trails that we've been on before and advice on what we recommend per trail. And then we have ebooks and Facebook. You can follow us, and we'll have all updates and all of our news on there. Also on YouTube, we have a YouTube channel. So if you're really looking to get an idea on especially Camino trail, we have specific videos per trail that we've done out on the trail. So anyone who's been out on the trail with us would have videoed that. So it's actual footage of the different trails. It'll really give you a taster before you head off. So from us, I suppose we'll be dying to hear any questions you might have about the different routes, or even just to tell us what are your plans, or if you have plans for 2018. we'd look forward to hearing from you. And I suppose myself and Anessa will stay here for around 10-15 minutes if anyone has any specific questions on any of the trails that we discussed today.
Okay, feel free to ask any questions, and even if you think of something afterwards or any other day, feel free to send us an email or give us a call. We're here 9 to 5 every day, so you can call us, send us emails. We'll be happy to answer all of your questions.
I just see here that Dave has said the difference between May and September is that daylight hours are about 2 hours shorter in September. That's really important to note as well, Dave, because when we were going in October, you'd have to get up very, very early and kind of try to finish before 4 or 5 in the day, so that you're cycling or walking through the day and you don't end up lost in the dark at nighttime. But I will say even between May and September, both of those months, both May and both September, are beautiful walking months.
Yeah,
they're perfect for walking. Well, especially the Camino routes that we do. We would say May, September, and October. Start of October, the first 2 weeks in October are amazing because they're not. People sometimes tend to think of holidays as summertime, but when you're going on an adventure holiday or an activity holiday like a long distance walking trail, then the summer months might be a bit too warm.
Yeah.
So
I definitely think that you don't need the summer months for active holidays if you're going cycling or walking. It's just, and especially because you have so many people, it's nicer when it's not as crowded. It's easier to walk, easier to cycle as well. So yeah, I suppose that's why September is our most popular month as well, because it's just, although it is very popular, but it's just because of the weather, people do choose not to go in the hotter months.
And it's harvest season in northern Spain around then, so there's a lot going on in the Rías Baixas region, in the wine region there, in Logroño, which is also known for its wine and vineyards. So there's a lot to see in September, October months. I would say April. Would you think April as well, because the Easter celebrations?
Oh yeah, definitely. April,
they're special.
April is a very good month. Actually, if you want to avoid the crowds in May, April is great because there are a lot of people doing it in May, but it's not as busy. So it's very nice in that kind of way. And also the weather starts to improve as well. So you can get really good weather depending on the year. But it's definitely a very good month to do the Camino. And same as October, I suppose.
There's one from Vicky. Vicky, I'm just reading your question now. So which hikes would you suggest for children? I have a 7-year-old. We hike on a regular basis, but I want to keep it fun for him. So from my experience, we had a journalist who hiked with her 9-year-old last year from Sarria to Santiago. So that's the last section of the French way. And they loved it. They really, really enjoyed it. And it was really, really manageable for the 9-year-old as well. So good feedback. I could probably get you more feedback, Vicky, if you want to email me at lisa@CaminoWays.com. From people, I could probably get specific feedback from people who have done it with kids and what routes they'd suggest to you in particular. But if you have a 7-year-old that enjoys getting out for a hike, then definitely encourage it.
Yeah.
Roland, our director, he has a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, and he cycled the Camino with both of them this year.
Yeah,
so
he doesn't have any issues or anything. Yeah.
No.
This is also actually a good route to do with children, just because there is a lot of services along the way as well. So if you need to stop for food or for bathroom or anything like that more often, you know that you'll always have the services. And also because there's a lot more accommodation along the way, we can keep the distances shorter, so you can stop more often as well. So if the children might not be able to complete 20 kilometers a day, you can reduce it to 10 or 15 kilometers per day. So that's another good thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's definitely worth noting for the kiddies. I've a few people who came in late. I'm sorry about that, guys, and I'll definitely get the recorded version over to you, no problem. And as I said, if you've any questions, so good. Can you type? I'll type in my email address now, Vicky. Here you go. What we can do also is I'll type in Anessa's email address. So this is both me and Anessa, and as I said, we can answer specific questions for you based on the trails that we've done, and based on the clients that have already walked and cycled the trails, we can get you feedback.
Yeah,
from
we have
them.
a lot of feedback on our website as well, or
Yeah,
even
there's
our
a lot.
blogs.
There's a lot on the blog as well. It's called the Camino Experience. If you go onto our website at CaminoWays.com and go into the experience, there's a lot of stories from other pilgrims who would have done it. So there's one from Audrey. Hi, Audrey. Is work going on a guided tour if you're interested in the history. Definitely the local guides know everything there is to know about the regions. So that is the benefit of being there with them, that they're very hands-on. They're from the areas themselves.
Yeah.
So
they will be able to tell you a lot about the area. So if you have any questions for them, I'm sure they will be answer everything. They're not doing city tours though, so that's just something to keep in mind as well, that the guides are always to walk the Camino.
With you.
Yeah, you won't be doing any city tours with the guides. So if there's anything that you're really interested in visiting yourself, the guide wouldn't be coming along. But anything other than that, you can always ask them all the questions. They will have all the information. So yeah, they are from the area, so they know it best.
Yeah, and then I suppose for a guided tour, it's the guided tour is with a group of people, so you're getting the benefit of people. You'll meet other people, you meet other pilgrims, you're guaranteed to be there with them. You also might have dinner with them in the evenings and stuff. So it is a kind of way of, you're not doing like a solo adventure. Guided tours on the Portuguese coastal way are very popular for next year. So I'll send Audrey, I'll send you the Portuguese coastal, or I'll send you the page for the guided tours if you want to pop your email in. I have another one here, a bit about the walking coach package.
Oh yeah.
So if we just want to talk about that.
Yeah, so we have that available as well. We only have 2 dates available now. I can't remember which ones is it. I think it's
looking
one
up at the board.
Sorry, I think there's one in September and one in June. But these are really good as well for people who don't want to do as much walking. So it's only covering 5 or 6 kilometers a day. So you're covering most of the trip in a coach, and you're just stopping to do some of the walking. So the coach will carry all of your luggage. It works the same, really. It's just that you're not part of a lot of it you're covering by coach and doing only a bit of walking. But yeah, it's very enjoyable as well. We have a lot of people doing that. It's the same kind of experience. You're still staying in the same hotels with everyone else. You're having the dinner together. So it is a really good one as well for people who wish to do less kilometers. Because all of the other guided tours, actually, they do cover around 20 kilometers per day. So even on the French way, where we have a lot of services, the standard itinerary is around 20 kilometers per day on the guided tour.
So yeah, so if you're not comfortable walking between 20 and 25 kilometers per day, the walking coach is the next option.
Yeah, definitely. Or the self-guided tour and doing less kilometers per day.
Yeah, less kilometers per day. So if you feel like you can still manage it, but you'd like to do less kilometers per day, you can actually break down the kilometers into 10 kilometers per day. But on average, the majority of our clients would do between 20 to 25 kilometers walking per day. And that's why the walking coach is a good option for people who just don't want to do that.
Still want to be in a group.
Want to be part of the Camino journey. That's great, Audrey. I'll send you on the guided tours page. And for the Portuguese Camino, do you follow the John Burley book, or can you book accommodation daily distance of the recommended walking pattern 30 to 35 days? The Portuguese Camino is the one from Lisbon. So we have our own walking notes. Yeah,
we do. We do provide a guidebook if you book the full Camino, but for the rest we have walking notes. Normally it's the same. It's around 20-25 kilometers. Some of the days might be around 30 kilometers. It's just depending on accommodation and what's available. But yeah, there's not as many services as on the French way, so the stops are not that flexible really. We can only do around 25-30 kilometers per day.
Yeah. And Tour de Santiago, the last section of the Portuguese way, is also very, very popular. You can do that in 7 nights. So for anyone, guys, who would like an itinerary or a quote, or to learn more about any of the trails we discussed, or even to join me in Kerry on the Kerry Camino in May, you can get in touch with us. I left my email there. It's Lisa@CaminoWays.com and Anessa@CaminoWays.com, and we'd be happy to answer more questions, to talk more about the trails that we love. And in the meantime, I suppose we hope you have a wonderful Christmas.
Yeah, happy Christmas. Thank you for tuning in.
Okay, thanks, guys. Thank you.